All right, welcome back to FC2. Today we're at Australia, and we're starting up Q1 right now. And we have 13 people in this qualifying. This will be an interesting race. We already raced FC1 earlier today, and it was quite exciting from the background. Today we're racing FC2. So right beside me is Lapis Lettuce. He is, he's been my teammate for quite a few years in FC1, and he's been a big part of this community for a long time. So welcome to the commentary booth, Lapis.
Hello. Maybe I've only been your teammate for 1 year, but yes, been a teammate for a very long time. We did Squilliams last year and ready to commentate this FC2 race in Australia.
Yeah, and so there's a few notable parts about this track that we'll cover eventually, but I think a few big ones is maybe turns 1 and 2 could be a little bit difficult for these FC2 drivers going a little bit wide on that first corner.
I think there's a lot of anti-tuning on this track, and so I think a lot of them are probably going to struggle spinning wide out into those packed ice areas. I'm going to watch out for that. I think if some of these drivers can find out how to stay on the blue ice for the longest, that they would succeed in this race.
All right, we're starting qualifying. The first round of qualifying. So these are the fastest drivers that are able to qualify for FC2. And they'll be putting in the fastest lap they can. They got 6.5 minutes or so to do it. And that will determine their grid position for the actual race. So currently we're watching P-Town, who has qualified the fastest in their practice times compared to these other FC2 drivers. Turning through these first few turns.
Absolutely. P-Town is somebody who's really impressed me, actually, quite a bit. They put in quite a bit of work over this past week, being kind of a newer name, or at least a newer name for me. It's interesting to see somebody on that first page of the T-Times list. They have qualified 16th overall in the times for Australia, so we'll see if they're able to replicate that time for this quali.
Yeah, and you can see that he's using some of these more advanced strategies on a few of these turns, notably the 2 wall taps on a few of these turns. There's 2 of them at the beginning. There's a really difficult one coming up right here for him. Let's see what he does here. He's going to go for it. It's quite difficult, and not all the FC1 drivers are able to compete it, but let's see what P-Town does.
Opt not to even use it. This might be just because it's his out lap. Probably because this is not his first lap, so it's not a full speed lap. He is doing such a good job at keeping on all of this blue ice. He has barely hit any packed ice this whole lap. Ha! Whoa!
Well, it's still an out lap for him. It will still definitely be a quick lap.
Yeah. Coming in, we'll see as he starts his first real lap. And we'll see some of these other drivers hopefully coming through. Priority coming in. Legendary A7.
Yeah, notable driver Priority, who's been around for a while. He has officially been an off-season driver. He has been driving in FC1 for a while, but today he's in FC2. So let's see what he does.
Also, JP kind of sneaking in there. I didn't recognize JP from before. JP is another very good driver. So JP's 29th. Yeah. So JP qualified 29th in the open time trial leaderboards. Interesting to see.
Which includes FC1 drivers. So he has definitely surpassed some FC1 drivers in open practice. But today he's in FC2. So definitely a name to keep an eye out for in these opening laps, this qualifying. And he could really put himself up on a podium position here if everything goes to his plan. So let's go back to P-Town, who's currently sitting on top with a 137.3, and he's stuck behind a back marker already.
Caught up to back markers, which is incredible. Who is he caught up to? Somebody in a Steve skin. Fuzzy Gamer 8021. This is also somebody who is relatively new to the community. They're currently actually 8th place. They're not last. They're doing all right. P-Town sets a 136.7 and overtakes Dirk Quali. Oh, that was so clean. Holy.
Gonna leave a mark for Fuzzy Gamer and tell him who not to mess with, as P-Town will continue this lap as a fast lap despite the overtake.
P-Town coming up behind Skip Snuff right now. We got some qualifying action going on. P-Town taking the correct line. Easy overtake. Bumped Skip Snuff. Amazing.
Did too much damage to his qualifying, his pace there. So I think this is still a fast lap for him.
P-Town is actually taking all of the almost perfect lines. Oh my goodness. P-Town was also one of the qualifiers for the FC1 race, and checking it, P-Town actually qualified with this same exact time, the 136.7. He was able to qualify, let me check it. He was able to qualify 17th overall in the FC1 race. Not quite good enough to get onto that no-name team, but P-Town is absolutely killing it out here today.
Yeah, and so he's out on his last lap compared to Priority, who did not complete all of his laps fast enough, and he has finished early. Same with Legendary A7. So P-Town, because his average pace was much faster than everybody else's, he will get another lap to go.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a clean wall tap off that turn. That turn, by the way, is right in front of a giant Oscar Piastri sign. And Lapis, you were the one who put this in here. You want to explain a little bit about this reasoning?
Absolutely. So last year we actually put out a Daniel Ricciardo sign. So this year Oscar Piastri is the Australian representative for F1, and he's on McLaren.
All right, so here's our grid for the start of the Australia Grand Prix for FC2. So currently we have P-Town sitting in the pole position. Right behind him is Legendary A7 in second, JP77 in third, Timmy will land in fourth, Priority in fifth, Ludo Fox in sixth, Kalen FC1 in 7th, Jalisha in 8th, Tryla Pack in 8th, Skip Snuff in 9th, Fuzzy Gamer in 10th. Skip Snuff in 10th, Fuzzy Gamer in 11th, and Walter will land last in 12th position. A little bit of a smaller grid today, but we'll make things interesting, I think. So,
are we ready to start?
We're ready to go.
All right, here we go. Start of FC2.
It is lights out, and away we go at FC2 in Australia, and already carnage on this straightaway. A little bit of messing up from Fuzzy in the back as these drivers are coming around the first turn. Satumi messes up, blocking 3, and JP will stand out in front. And in front of him is P-Town, already a huge gain on everyone else.
Satumi gets absolutely destroyed in the beginning, gets knocked way down the leaderboard. Drivers are messing up and crashing everywhere. This looks like the final red flag from the F1 race last night. Goodness me.
So it looks like Skip Snuff has already created a gap in front of him with Trilopack, and Satumi is stuck right behind him as he messes up the wall tap and has cost him another position.
Satumi gets bumped once again, struggling to keep these positions.
Fuzzy Gamer, even after that terrible spell, he messes up, but he's gone up quite a few positions already. Oh, and Priority just overtakes JP for the second position, bumps him as well, creates a huge gap behind him as well. Big overtake for Priority in the beginning of the race.
Satumi continues to get bumped down the leaderboard.
So bad start for Satumi. And little mess up from Legendary 7, giving Kalen the overtake right on the outside of that last turn.
Clean overtake. I assume Legendary A7 will have to give way to Kalen on this first corner, or else threaten getting bumped. He's not giving way. Swings wide, though, probably trying to avoid Kalen's ghost.
So P-Town still a huge gap to the second place of Priority. And JP isn't that far behind for that second position. Priority messes up a little, and JP gets bumped. Wow.
Oh!
A little unlucky for JP not being able to predict that. And but Priority will lose even more time to P-Town.
Absolutely. P-Town is up here taking really clean lines, being able to stay on all of the blue ice. This is magnificent lines put in by P-Town. Goodness me.
And so Legendary 7 coming back for an overtaking Kalen for that fourth position. Right as they thought it was over on that last turn, has been able to do it in not that long of a time. And Purdy and JP are now battling once again. Purdy going on the inside, JP right behind on this turn. See what they do on this chicane right here. A little bit risky from JP for staying so close behind Purdy.
Wow, this is quite an intense battle. I think JP is going to be able to eke out Priority's ghost. But they got to watch out at the slowdown zone, at the braking zone, because the ghost ends up catching up to the lightning rod. So JP's in a little bit of trouble here. And he does have to give way. He does avoid the ghost. All right.
Yeah, that was not over JP, though. I mean, any mess up from Priority of any sort of line will slow him down enough for JP to get even closer. And it looks like JP may have made that turn a little bit better than Priority.
Both opting in for the wall tap. Taking it clean. Oh, JP going really close to that wall. I saw that, JP. JP almost bumped into the wall. P-Town continues to extend their lead quite a bit. We have a few drivers going in for the first pits. Kalen leads for the drivers who had done one pit. The pit delta is approximately 30 seconds. P-Town is now almost behind Walta. I don't think P-Town sees Walta soon enough, so I don't think he's going to go in for a pit. He's going to stay out, and he's likely going to get held up by Walta on lap 3 of this race.
Let's go on board to P-Town, coming in for this 4th lap. Let's see what he can do against this backmarker. We've seen that some of these drivers in the first position have been able to overtake backmarkers pretty easily in the FC2 races. Things can always be different, and P-Town has to be careful behind these backmarkers, especially someone as wild as Walta can be.
Walta going in for the wall tap. Ooh, P-Town does not opt for the wall tap. I think that's a smart idea by P-Town. P-Town is going in really aggressive, trying to... I believe P-Town's now past his ghost, and he easily overtakes Walta. Oh my goodness, P-Town is doing amazing.
And the wall tap secures that, as P-Town will get in front of that backmarker and slow down all the drivers behind him. He is already 13 seconds in front of Priority,
who is probably going to actually catch up to Walta here pretty soon. I see Priority, JP, and Legendary A7 just got bumped by JP. They're going to end up meeting Walta pretty soon as well. I'm looking on the mini-map. That gap is closing very quickly. They're probably going to meet Walta before the end of the lap.
Let's see, and they have to be careful. Priority, he's the first one who has to deal with Walta. Any mess up that he runs into with Walta could provide an easy overtake for JP to get in front.
Walta actually took that corner clean. Opts not to take the wall tap. I think that's fine for these FC2 drivers. Consistency over speed. Consistency over speed even in the FC1 race. Oh, Priority's getting held up massively.
A rock and a hard place currently trying to defend himself against JP, who seems to have pitted.
JP went in for the pit. That is an amazing strategy. JP saw that Priority did not pit, and now Priority's under pressure. He has to overtake Walta in order to secure the lead, and he does! First corner! Walta goes out wide.
Oh, we have a spider on turn 3 that has appeared.
Oh!
Might mess up some of the drivers, even scare them.
Let's go and see Walta's reaction to this. Oh no. Walta takes a perfect wall tap on Walta takes a perfect wall tap on the spider's leg first try. That was amazing!
Smart move by Walta. Haven't seen that move in any of the FC1 races.
Walta goated for real. He's the first person I think I've seen to take this.
Walta with the move of the day with fast reactions like that. As we see those drivers drive pretty cleanly through this sector. Not too bad from the spider. Just one leg in the middle of the track there. Fuzzy Gamer's coming in, and he will take it cleanly, a little bit slow on the exit. Not too bad from him.
I see Priority's gone in for that pit. Let's see this gap here. JP versus Priority right now. We'll see how well Priority does the pit stop. Priority does the pit stop in 4.6 seconds. JP did it in 6 seconds, so that's really good news for Priority.
But here comes JP coming down the straight.
It looks like it's not going to matter, though. JP gets the overtake. Easy undercut.
And yeah, here comes P-Town, who's still in 0 pits, but is about a lap Kalen as well.
You know, that might make a difference for JP in the end. If JP goes through again, JP should be coming up sometime soon. If JP can wall tap off from that spider's leg, he might be able to close in the gap on P-Town, and P-Town might not even recognize it. JP coming down. Clean wall tap. So yes, every time JP does that, I believe he's probably gaining a second or more on P-Town. Which, it looks like P-Town has enough of a gap ahead, but JP is absolutely closing in. We'll see if that comes into play later on in the race.
Yeah, and keep in mind, JP has already completed one of his 2 pit stops. P-Town has completed none of those. And with an about 25 or so second pit stop, that currently looks like JP will be in front if P-Town pits.
P-Town does pit right now. He does a terrible pit entry. He pit because Kalen was holding them up. So P-Town goes in for the first pit. Let's see where he comes out with respects to JP. I believe this should probably be a pretty safe lead for P-Town. Judging by the gaps between Legendary A7 and JP, P-Town completes in 4.15 seconds.
So definitely faster, and we see Legendary 7 will take the lead of the race coming by on the right. He has not completed any of his pits, but he will be in the front of the race. So P-Town will be in front, and as soon as the timing system will update, we'll see how far behind JP is.
See, JP comes through with not a 32-second gap. Definitely has a smaller 6-second gap. Let's go and see if the Spider is still there. Spider is still there, available for JP. Takes the wall tap perfectly. Let's see how much he gains. He gains almost a second on P-Town, and JP is really closing in on P-Town.
We're halfway through the race, and JP is quickly catching up to P-Town. Still a long while to go, but with that wall tap that he's introduced, definitely shakes things up, and P-Town doesn't know about it yet.
I don't think so. I think P-Town's probably confused, because P-Town's probably taking these lines very clean, and then he just sees a whole second be eviscerated between that gap. That's not good.
Let's go on board to P-Town as he tries to overtake this back marker, finishing his 8th lap, starting his 9th. And on turn 1, he's quickly caught up to Trilopack, who is currently in 8th position with 2 pit stops completed. See what P-Town can do. Be careful on the Spider turn. They both go a little bit wide. And P-Town will stay. And and he's also catching up to Legendary A7, who hasn't completed any of his pits. P-Town overtakes Trilopack. And with a bump to it, he is quickly passed in front. But he's still right behind Legendary A7, who technically is still a backmarker to him, considering P-Town has pitted once, and Legendary A7 has not. Legendary A7 coming right in front, right behind Ludofax. Coming out of the pits, and he gets bumped. Ludofax will hold on to that position. Really aggressive from Legendary 7, and it has not paid off this time. But here he comes again from behind. Ludofax got a little slow on that turn, and it is an intense battle already for these two drivers. Legendary 7 goes on the inside route and has overtaken Ludofax, who has taken the wall tap.
So it does look like JP did overtake Trilopack. Oh, but JP messes up the corner. Trilopack also messes up the corner significantly and bumps Priority.
And Priority is right behind.
Priority is forced to sacrifice his line. Oh, they are in tandem right now.
Priority taking an aggressive turn here. Careful not to get bumped.
Getting a little bit of lag back, but is able to.
It looks like he has cleanly overtaken Ludofax on the last turn.
Very well done. Very well done. Priority does not have much of a gap to JP, who has now lost 4 more seconds to P-Town.
Looks like P-Town is running away with this race with an incredible pace and overtaking backmarkers pretty easily. But currently we're looking at the second place gap right now. Is only 4 seconds or so between JP and Priority.
P-Town now sits a 135. Something of fastest lap in the 135s. JP goes in for a second pit. Ooh, and he has a poor entry. Priority also pits behind him. Oh goodness!
I wonder what the reasoning for that was.
I don't think Priority saw that JP pit in time, and Priority mentally was just going to go in for a pit. I believe they should be able to both come out in front of Legendary A7. Let's see who gets the faster pig stop here. JP had a slow first pig stop. Priority had much faster. Priority completes a pig stop over a second faster than JP. So he does gain a lot of time in the pit to JP. And this battle for second place is on.
Marker of Ludofax.
Oh no! This is shaking up a lot of stuff.
JP's in the position, the hot seat right now. He needs to stay in front of Priority and not lose too much time to him. And
the Spider
be able to overtake
Ludofax. JP almost overtakes Ludofax Ghost, but he's not past his rod yet. So we'll see if this causes any complications. JP decides to take the corner normally,
And
still not past Ludofax's rod.
Not yet. Ludofax goes a little bit wide there. JP coming in on the inside of the next turn.
A little bit of lag back. Bumps. Priority goes around the outside.
Pretty in this risky situation right now, all of a sudden.
It looks like he's going to grab more blue ice. But he doesn't quite get past Ludofax. And he does get past Ludofax.
Just the speed on that current turn there has managed to get him an overtake on Ludofax, who has...
And bumps Ludofax, unfortunately. So now this gap between JP and Priority is below 4 seconds now. It is a whole second faster. Backmarker didn't give either of them too many problems.
No, but has definitely given Priority a little bit of faster time on that. He is now less than 4 seconds compared to what he was before the pit stop, which was 6.
JP is coming up aggressively on Trilopack. We will see how this corner works.
JP going a little bit wide there.
This could be, if there's a significant mess up on JP's part, that gap between Priority could be gone again. He's built up a 5-second gap. He overtakes Trilopack's Ghost.
He's not done yet, though. And on the straight, looks like he's going to have a little bit faster time, and just by speed, he's in front of Trilopack.
Trilopack messes up.
On the inside. Oh, what's he doing?
Is Trilopack going to slow down Priority at all? Priority takes a beautiful turn 1, turn 2 combination. Closing in really fast on Trilopack as well. Let's see this gap. Oh, yeah. All of these drivers have completed their pits. They cannot dive into the pits for any reason.
And we only have 2 laps to go for P-Town. And these other drivers will have 3.
We'll see how aggressive P-Town decides to get.
P-Town does have the option to just wait it out. He has enough time to burn behind these back markers.
Oh, he gets bumped!
Oof. And the spider has disappeared right in front of P-Town's eyes.
Absolutely. So that 18 sec to JP may be going down a bit when JP passes through the checkpoints. We'll see how... Another back marker is being thrown into the situation with Walta going ahead of Jeshua. So we now have a really tight battle for 6th place. We have Walta leading the train, and we have the race leader behind the battle for 6th place. Walta is taking the inside. Satomi completes an incredibly fast pig stop. Holy moly. Walta holding up this whole train. P-Town does get past Curb. Past their Ghost and past their Lightning Rod.
Oh! There goes Jaleisha.
Jeshua also gets bumped by Walta. So P-Town is moving his way all the way through these back markers. Walta takes it wide.
P-Town right next to him.
Kayla Kerm gets bumped. P-Town overtakes all 3 back markers in 2 or 3 corners.
And Kalen is not happy about that one.
Kerm is not happy with Walta. But unfortunately for Kerm, nobody has any more pits, so this is just straight up racing.
Yep, so P-Town's coming down this last straight, and he will take the P1 and the victory at the Australia GP for FC2.
Absolutely very well played by P-Town. Dominated this race. Built a gap right in the beginning, held that gap throughout a lot of the race. Very well, very good driving on P-Town's part. And here comes JP.
Here comes JP for the 2nd position. And he will celebrate with a little spin, and he will be P2.
And then not far behind him comes Priority, finishing right beside Walta.
Rounding out the podium. And there's our podium for FC2. P-Town will stay on top. JP will be in 2nd place and Priority in 3rd. Good work from P-Town, being able to overtake these pretty fast and pretty prominent drivers of JP. Priority.
Welcome Priority.
Yo, hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Yes. We're seeing you throughout that race. It seems that you got through. There's a little incident that happened. Not really incident, but there was JP in front of you, and JP decided to pit, and you pitted right behind him for your 2nd pit.
I didn't actually mean to do that. I didn't see that he went into the pit. He was a little, like, the tiniest bit out of my vision range, and I didn't see that he actually went into the pit, so I wouldn't have done that if I knew he went into the pit.
Absolutely. We saw that. We were watching that. It's very unlucky, but you kept up a very good pace this whole race. I think you did very well. Dealt with the back markers very cleanly. Congratulations on your P3 in
Thank you.
Australia. P-Town.
Yeah.
Absolutely dominated this race. Holy moly. You had incredible pace out there. I was watching your lines, and they were very, very clean. How do you feel about this win?
It feels really good. Honestly, it was like I was a bit worried there. At some times, I got some bumps on back markers, but I just felt really good about my line. And yeah, feels really nice. I've been practicing this map a lot, so
Absolutely. I think that absolutely paid off. You were taking really good wall taps, very good lines throughout the whole course. You were losing, I have to say, you were losing a little bit of time to JP due to the spider. JP was actually very cleanly wall tapping off from that spider's leg. He was using that creatively.
That's smart.
But it didn't make a difference in the end. While the spider was on, JP was closing his gap, but then as soon as the spider went off, you started gaining whole seconds on him. I think your raw pace absolutely won you this race.
Yeah.
It was a very clean race. Very well done by you. Also, right towards the end, what was it? It was was it your last lap? You overtook 3 back markers in 2 corners. That was absolutely incredible to watch going through there.
Thank you.
Yes.
That felt good. That felt really good. I was getting nervous because I was like following. That was when JP was gaining on me a lot. Was because I was stuck behind like a group of back markers, and so I was just trying to figure out a way to get past them and make sure that would secure the win. As long as I, of course, played safe after that. But
absolutely.
Felt really good to pull that off, and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you did very good. Very clean, very dominant win in FC2 Australia. And I look forward to seeing possibly what you can do in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Good. Well done on the win.
Thank you.
So that's FC2 at Albert Park in Australia. We have a little bit of a long break.
Yes, we do have a month break, a 3-week gap, and then Baku. So pretty much 4 weeks from now, we'll be going into the next race.
So stay tuned, and that will be FC2.